Hey everybody, Pat Benage here, the evolution coach, creator of the 6-week shift, the inner path, and author of this inspirational blog, SoulTalk. And I want to continue on the same path, I guess, that I've been on for the last couple of 3 weeks here now, in discussing some larger truths, greater truths, and more higher truths, whatever that happens to be, something that's approaching the non-relative, something that's not a truth that's based on my perception, my my point of view, but something that holds validity beyond that. And that's what when I talk about these higher truths, they're truths that are I guess eternal, really. They're truths that transcend time and space to a certain degree. They transcend just the human experience, but they also apply to the human experience. And so, the first week I talked about who are we and what that entails, and last week I talked about life, the perfection of life, and how everything works flawlessly. And that's perfection. That's my definition of perfection, is that it works flawlessly. It doesn't, there's no mistakes in life. Nothing happens by accident. It all works together. And there's a purpose in it. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit a little bit the 3 questions that I've talked about in the past. The first one being, who am I, which I discussed a couple weeks ago. And that, I think, is probably the most important question that we can ask ourselves. Who am I? I mean, really getting to, and it's about awareness. It's about expanding one's awareness of the answer to that question, because there are so many levels to it, and we peel away layers of that until we get to the core, to the heart of it, to what is the real truth, the ultimate truth of who am I. And that's what that question is about, is discovering your own truth about who you are. And then the second question is, where am I? Which is relative to whatever you're asking about, but in the largest scheme of things, where are you on your journey of becoming your whole self, your truth? So where are you in that process? And that question is about understanding and acceptance. So it's about understanding where you are, but it's more than that. It's about accepting where you are in your own process. Not thinking that you're ahead of where you are or behind where you are. Either of those things are untrue, and so it's a denial of your truth in the moment. And so that's an important question, because it sets you up for the next question, which is, what do you want? What do I want? And that's the question I want to talk about today. What is that? What, in asking the question, what do you want? What is that really about? And again, it's about getting to the heart of things, getting to the heart of what it is that you want at your highest self So if you're coming from that place of being your truth, from that perspective, what do you want? And that's what I want to talk about today. Is what is the truth of what it is that I want, you want, we all want in life? Because it manifests in various ways throughout lifetimes and among individuals. And so it appears different. It appears that we want different things. But is that true? Is that really true? I mean, at the heart of it, are we really wanting different things, or is it ultimately the same thing? And we're just trying to experience that, the satisfaction of that desire in different ways. And what I offer today is the idea that at the very core of things, what we want is the same thing. That what you want and what I want and what everyone else in existence wants is the same thing. If we get down to the very basic element, it's the same thing. And I'll get to what that is in a minute, but what happens is, and I'll use this analysis because I've in the past I've been in sales, and I've just one of the things that they teach you is they teach you about the features, the advantages, and the benefits of whatever it is that you're selling. And what they talk about is sell the benefits. That's the most effective means for doing sales. And why is that? Because it's the benefit that gets more to the heart of what it is that the person that's going to be buying wants. So if you have a car, for example, and you're selling a car, then you might list the features like, automatic transmission and GPS and iPod capabilities, ABS brakes. You might list things like your acceleration and your cornering ability and fuel economy and all of these things. There are all these things that are features that particular car has. And then in the advantages portion of that, it gets to, well, it's got this good acceleration so you can pass quickly. It's got great gas mileage so you save money. It's, all of these different things. So it's the saving money. It's the ability to, to move quickly, to whatever it happens to be. And so those are the advantages to the features that particular car has. And then you get more to the heart of it, which are the benefits. And the benefits can be, they're designed based on what that particular individual's desires are. So you're going to, as a salesperson, you're going to try to isolate what that individual's desire is, what their hot button is, and you're going to sell the benefits that match that. So if they're it's a family-oriented thing and they've got the ability to seat 7, then that's the feature and its advantage. The benefit is that you've got a vehicle that you can take your whole family and enjoy trips, vacations, different kind of things. So that's the benefit to having those things, is that you can do all this, and then maybe for it's a great price and we've got a sale going on. So that's the benefit. So if it's priced, that's the benefit. But what I'm getting at with this whole thing is that we tend to approach life, and I've talked about this before, we get distracted by the shiny objects, which are the features. And we seek out particular features of life in order to satisfy this underlying desire of what it is that we want. And if we look at it a little deeper, then we can see the advantages to these particular things. And if we look at it a little deeper, we can see the benefits to those particular things. But rarely do we actually get to the place where we're seeing what desire is being met. What is the desire that's being met? And then furthermore, if we look at it a little deeper, it's that desire comes from something. That desire isn't even the core thing. We seek out love through relationships, through friends, through family, through all sorts of means. We seek out self-worth through job, through maybe volunteering, through service, through all kinds of means that we seek out, and we're driven by this underlying desire, and we feel that desire, that we feel that need or whatever through all of these outside things, all of these features of life, we get a nice house, we get a nice car, we get a beautiful spouse, we whatever it happens to be. And we seek out those things to satisfy this underlying desire that we have. The question of what do you want is about getting to what is behind that, what is underneath that, what is it that's driving the desire, and most people out there will, even when looking at the very basic needs, the most basic desires, they're looking at it from the standpoint of the physical. The physical, the emotional, the mental things. Even when you get to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's, food, clothing, and shelter is kind of right at the base, and then it moves all the way up to self-actualization. But what I suggest is that the true desire, the underlying desire underneath everything, is not the base level, but the highest level. That the truth is that what's motivating us, what's moving us forward, is that highest level desire. So the self-actualization, which isn't even quite that, but it's getting close in those terms, because it's the self-realization, it's the self-expression, it's getting to be our whole complete self. That's That's the underlying desire. That's the thing that's motivating us to every action, every thought, everything that we do in life is to move us toward that realization of our true self. To be in this human form, the expression of our ultimate truth. All of the features, advantages, and benefits are all external, and they're all temporary. Truth is what is eternal. Truth is what is permanent, lasting. It doesn't have an end to it. Everything in this world is temporary. Now, that can only be identified when one realizes who you truly are. So if a person thinks that they're just this person, if I thought I was just this Pat Benage that has been around for 58 years and might be around for another 20 or 30 or 40 years, but that would be the end. So in terms of, permanence, anything that outlasts me is essentially permanent. Anything that outlasts this lifetime is essentially permanent. So I could certainly become attached to that. But when I think of myself as an eternal being, and that this is just one episode in my life, and that I'm here beyond the lifetime of this earth, beyond the lifetime of this universe, then I realize that nothing is permanent out here. My essence is what's permanent. My essence is what is eternal. That spirit, soul, that's the eternal aspect of things. And that is the only, until you get to there, it's impossible to get to the point of understanding that what you want has nothing to do with any of this out here. Other than you're utilizing all of these experiences, all of these external experiences to better understand who you are, to evolve to the point of being your whole self. And you do that through, as I've talked about many times, through these 7 stages of personal evolution. The first, actually, the sort of pre-stage is awareness. And that comes from that question, who am I? When we begin to ask that question, we begin to expand our awareness about our true nature. And then it's a process of starting to look at it and understand it. So you go through understanding and acceptance, and those, whether you're doing it consciously or not, it's that where am I question. It's that question of, okay, what is this about? Right here, right now. And so you're going through the process of understanding and then accepting and then trusting to move forward. Trusting your own self first, As you begin to understand and accept your truth, then you begin to trust that and you start to move forward, and that helps you to trust life. And then you begin the process of living in full integrity, your whole self. So you go through that phase of trying to up your honesty level, your genuineness, your authenticity. And then you expand your consciousness. And then you become more connected with yourself, with source, with life. And then you become more loving, move more into that space of unconditional love. And who you truly are is soul who understands completely, accepts completely, lives in complete integrity, is complete integrity, is complete consciousness, is completely connected, is totally unconditional love. That's your true nature. And what you want is the realization of that, to make that real in your life. To make that your experience. To experience who you are at that level. Complete understanding, complete acceptance, complete and full integrity, complete consciousness, connected with everything, oneness, love. And I'm just going to leave with one I was going to say little thing, but it's kind of a big thing. Yes, you must go through this process of understanding acceptance all through those 7 stages. You must do that. That's inherent with the unfolding. But there's also a shortcut. In that in any given moment, you can, through soul transport, you can become love. And in that moment of being love, you experience all of it. You experience all of it. And why I say that's a shortcut, it's not because from wherever you are, it's probably not possible well, it's certainly not possible without going through the steps. And you do that over and over through life, consciously, unconsciously, whatever. Without having gone through the whole process and really gotten to the heart of everything, you cannot sustain that, but you can momentarily experience it. And by doing that, you have now the ability to see it. You have now the ability to imagine it. And that, now you go, that's what I want. That's what I want. That feeling. All else is just window dressing. And it's okay if what you want right now is the window dressing, because that's just where you are. I'm not saying that you need to drop everything in this moment and just shoot for this. But what I know is that when you do that, when you make that highest ideal your goal, what you want. And you line up, and every day you bring that into your attention, you put your attention on it, life will line up with that. And that's the truth. Believe it, don't believe it, doesn't matter. It's still the truth. It's still the truth. So, thank you so much again for joining me this week. And I hope this has inspired you to look a little deeper. And just remember, I say this every week, but live your life from the inside out. From the inside out. Thank you so much. See you next week.